Hi, Freddie. It's so nice to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Beautiful. And thank you so very much for honoring the invite. It means a whole lot. So, Freddie, I am quite excited to have you on the show for some reasons. All right. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking, because I believe in order to transition from a chaotic situation to that of a beautiful one, it takes the application of knowledge, quality information. And you
hmm
see, Freddie, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation here today very important to me and even to the audience. Now, the second reason why I'm excited to have Freddie on the show is for the sake of the listeners. I believe there are some things that Freddie knows that some of the listeners needs to hear you say these stuff, directly from your mouth in order for them to experience transformation and get unstuck. I firmly believe that. And lastly, that is me again. I am convinced I'm definitely going to learn one or two things from you, Freddie. Your story, your insights, and your experiences. So for that reason, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your journey, how you got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Freddie, over to you.
All right. Well, I'm a retired police officer that turned into a wealth advisor. And During my time as a police officer, I learned that there were two different games going on in finance. There was a checkers game, which is what the middle class play, and a chess game, which is what the wealthy are playing. And I'm not saying that checkers is wrong. It's just checkers. And you can be happy playing checkers. You can live a nice life. You can retire playing checkers. What you can't do, in my opinion, is become wealthy playing checkers. To do that, you have to switch over to chess, in my opinion. And chess is a totally different game with different strategies, even though it's played on the same board, right? So, um, and once I figured out that there were two different games and started playing chess, my wealth grew pretty quickly, right? And so I am very interested in getting that message out there. And in addition to be a wealth advisor, just kind of bringing this to light that there are these two different games, and I want people to be educated and understand which game they are playing, and if they want to continue playing that particular game. That's why I wrote the book "Playing the Wealth Game," which is available on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, wherever you want to find books. Even an Audible version for those of your listeners who would rather listen to a book than sit there and read it. And the book was a self-discovery book. It's meant to for people to understand different strategies, but also by the end of the book, you shouldn't be screaming at the moon. Why do the wealthy just keep getting more wealthy or not? Um, I tried to bring some light to that and bring some evidence to support my points. And it's been a good review so far. So I'm proud of that. But my firm works with high net worth clients looking to expand and um, get into more different types of assets, not just market-based assets, not just like the stock market or whatever. But those are great too. But also real estate, businesses, things that cash flow. So that's my mission.
Amazing. What a beautiful, inspiring, and a great mission you have, Freddie. I love that. I love that. So that's going to lead to the very first question. Are you ready?
Sure, fire away.
So you mentioned your book, all right? I want you to talk more on that. Why did you write the book Playing the Wealth Game? And what made you choose that particular title?
Well, I wanted to make sure people understood that there were two different elements to find the financial. Checkers has been force fed down the middle class throat for so long, and that it's just not the way to build wealth. The whole just saving money in the market, funding retirement accounts, um, and not having any debt and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's great. That's great checkers, and if you're going to play checkers, I want you to be a darn good checkers player, right? If that's the game you're going to choose, I want you to be darn good at it. Nothing sucks more than being a bad checkers player. But if you're looking to build wealth, generational wealth, well, then chess is a game that you're going to have to switch to at some point. So that's why I wrote the book, really to make that distinction and have people understand that you cannot save your way to wealth. You can't have to start doing different things, and you can't. I hear it all the time from clients or prospective clients. They'll ask me, "Well, don't most people do this?" And I'll say, "Yes. Do you want what most people have? Because if you want what most people have, you should do what most people do, and that will get you that result." But if most, but a lot of people want something different, right? Well, you have to do different things. You can't have uncommon results doing common things. So really it's a mindset shift more than anything else. And that's where the book really kind of goes over, is that mind shift switch from the checkers attitude to the chess attitude of personal finance, without saying things are right or wrong.
Amazing. I got that. I got that. You cannot save your way to wealth. Powerful.
No.
I got it. Okay, I'm still kind of curious, all right? You mentioned attitude. Can
Mm-hmm.
you talk to us, the middle class now, those ones playing checkers, what are some of their attitudes? And the ones playing chess now, what are some of their attitudes? Can you talk to us about that?
Sure. One of the biggest separators, in my opinion, between the checkers game and the chess game are people's attitude towards debt. And when I'm using the word debt in this context, I don't mean like running your credit card up, not like consumer debt. I'm talking about leverage. And if you're going to play a good checkers game, you probably want to stay the heck out of debt, right? Paying things cash, um, paying things off, including your house and everything else. Had no credit card debt, of course. Neither of these scenarios. But you just have to understand that there's only so much that's going to help, right? But when you're going to switch over to chess, you actually want to be in as much debt as possible without over leveraging, right? Not getting in too far over your head, right? So, but using debt can be a great thing for a lot of people if they know how to use it and if they're smart with how to use debt. Kind of like using fire. If you use fire correctly, heats your house, cooks your food, and it's great. If you let it get out of control, it's going to burn everything to the ground, right? So understanding that is very important, in my opinion. And that's probably the biggest, like I said, the biggest separator. For somebody who understands and how to use debt and understands how to use taxes to their advantage, use tax code, I should say, to their advantage to reduce their taxable liability legally, and have more of their own resources to be able to purchase more assets that cash flow that creates income so they can enjoy their life now, not saving money in accounts, not just saving money in accounts, I should say, and waiting for 30 years before they can start using the money, whether to either they're not maybe not physically able to enjoy the wealth as much, or they're just plain not here. They're passed away, so that would be bad too. So it's really about how to build your wealth now and not just hand over your money to Wall Street and just hope and pray that they're going to, have a good rate of return for you. That will only go so far. We have all-time highs in the market recently, and that doesn't mean people are just kind of quitting their jobs and living the life they've always wanted because the stock market is an all-time high. It doesn't work like that. But when you hand over your money to them, what do you think they're doing with it? Do you think they're putting in accounts? Do you think they're waiting 30 years to start, to build wealth for themselves? Or do you think they're buying assets, buying businesses, buying real estate, buying things that are going to create income for themselves right now and their companies right now, so they can enjoy the wealth now, not waiting 30 years?
Amazing. I got it. So, to move to playing chess now, one needs to know how to make use of debt, just like you mentioned.
Yes.
I got that. So let us get personal a bit. All right. So, why did you choose to make your firm independent?
Well, I'm a fiduciary advisor, and the independent allows me to do what I want, to advise my clients the way I think is best, not selling some company's products or wanting to do it, their way. 'Cause remember, they're playing chess, right? These companies, they're playing chess. So if you're working for an insurance company, they want you to sell insurance. Not that insurance is bad. It's just that's how they make money, and that's what they want you to produce. If you're working for some commercial or investment bank, they want you to sell the stuff that's going to make them money. When you're independent, you still have access to all those things, right? You have access to the insurance companies. You have access to the investment banks, commercial, whatever. But it gives us the freedom to kind of advise our clients the way we think is best, and we like it better.
I got it. Autonomy. I got it. And you see, okay, who is a fiduciary advisor? Can you give us like a
Fiduciary
definition?
advisor. It's not a designation, but it's a standard. So a fiduciary advisor has to work in the best interest of the client. I cannot work in the best interest of myself, and I can't work in the best interest of the firm that I own. I have to work in the client's best interest. So the recommendations that we give to clients are things that they should be doing, whether that makes us revenue or not, is something completely separate. So it's the difference between being a salesperson and being an advisor. When you're a fiduciary, and unfortunately, not all advisors are fiduciaries. So that's one question that people should ask. It should be actually the first question they ask: is, "Are you a fiduciary?" And if they say no, or they try to sidestep the question, just get up and leave. That person is not going to be good for you. Also, if let me give you this example. If you walked into a gym, and you wanted a personal trainer, and somebody completely overweight and has, a hot dog hanging out of the beard, comes up to you and says, "Hey, I'm going to be your personal trainer. I'm going to get you in shape." Your response may not be so positive to that, right? It's like,
I tell you.
I don't think that you would be a good fit for me because I'm trying to get in shape and you're not. Now, that doesn't mean that the personal trainer needs to be Mr. Olympia or Mrs. Olympia to be a good personal trainer, right? But they should at least, they should look like they take their own advice, right? And be in good physical shape. I would say the same thing for financial professionals. If you're, if that financial professional isn't doing the things that you aspire to do, even if it's on a smaller scale, the advisor doesn't have to be the richest person in the world, but should have a level of wealth that is acceptable to you to say, like, okay, this person at least A, knows what they're doing, and B, actually practices what they preach, right? So, asking the advisors how many houses they own, or things like that, things that are making sure that they are, not broke themselves, because that would be not a good thing, right? You probably wouldn't want to take financial advice from that person. So yeah, I mean, those are the things I would look out for when choosing a financial advisor.
I got it. You see, to me, I think it is better to go after a fiduciary advisor. I think folks who works in the interest of the client, they should receive higher patronage than others. Nah. I got that. Okay, Freddie. So to bring this to an end, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those ones who would like to reach out to you, learn more about what you do, what you're doing, or maybe you've said some things that resonated with them and they would love to learn more. How can that be possible?
I would say to people, like, question things that are considered normal. Like, why are they normal, right? So, if all this financial advice, the checkers, what I call it, financial advice, has been so great and is going to work out for everybody, why is the wealth gap expanding in the United States, not shrinking, right? Or how can, here's a good one, how can life insurance companies have their best years during and soon after a global life-threatening pandemic?
Terrible.
What they insure is life is dying, and they're having their best years. And I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong. I'm actually saying they're doing a lot of things right. It's just not what people do on a smaller scale, obviously. Why do investment companies buy real estate, right? But a lot of advisors are trying to talk their clients out of purchasing real estate for a lot of reasons. And yeah, I mean, those are things, just like, and I encourage people to read the book, Playing the Wealth Game. And if they have any questions, or they want to reach out to us, want to talk to us, they want a consultation, they can go to optafinancial.com. That's OPTA financial.com. And on the top right-hand corner, it says schedule a consultation. It's complimentary. We'll talk to them, make sure that they are a good fit for us and that we're a good fit for them, and see where that goes with becoming a client.
Beautiful. I love that. So what's the title of your book again? Can you repeat it?
Playing the Wealth Game.
Playing the Wealth Game. Got it. So that's going to be the end of the show,
Yeah,
Freddie.
Playing the Wealth Game.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing this amazing stuff with us. It means a whole lot, man. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Have a great day.